You are listening to Purpose PR Agency Radio, where I connect you with celebrities, media personalities, motivational speakers, CEOs, and inspirational authors. Each guest on the podcast episode is here to give you amazing jewels and help take your brand to the next level. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this amazing podcast episode. And I'm your host, Purposeful Porsha. Hello and happy Thursday to you all, my listeners. You're very faithful. And I'm so excited about today's episode. I have one of my great friends and my sister in public relations. We call it sister in PR, Miss Niesha Kennedy Robinson out of Philadelphia here. We're actually going to have a great conversation. We're going to talk about some things that we normally talk about off the podcast, but we thought it was a great bit of information that we wanted to share with our listeners today, and just people who may have the same thoughts or just perhaps in the same field as she and I and want to kind of do a couple of transitions or be a better you in this field. So let me quickly tell you about Miss Niesha. She is an accomplished public relations professional that has a genuine love for art. She has over 8 years experience in public relations and about 10 years in small business as a small business owner. Niesha has the expertise and she has all of the talent to properly represent the arts and culture and anything in the industry that is dealing with entrepreneurs and those who have small businesses. So I'm not going to hold up the entire intro talking about her when you all can meet her for yourself. So welcome to the show, Niesha.
Hey, Porsha, thanks for having me.
I'm
hey,
so
audience.
excited. She said, hey, audience. That's a girl after my own heart. Don't leave my listeners out. So, we have so much to talk about. Everyone's talking about this hot girl summer. Everyone's getting off of this hot girl summer, about to go into this fantastic, female fall. But we always have a purposeful public relations or purposeful Publicist, motivational time every single day. So as far as we're concerned, it's always fantastic and hot girl and, bumping and grinding as far as things popping and moving in our industry. So we want to share with you all great advice and great tips. So tell everybody what you've been up to, Miss Niesha. I know you have a few things you want to share.
So I have been working hard, really on my business and for some of my clients. So just a little bit about myself, and you did a great intro. Thank you very much.
I did a curtsy. You're welcome.
For my firm, and when I say firm, I mean like a boutique public relations firm where we're totally hands-on, so you're not treated like a number. You receive pretty much one-on-one care as a client. So I originally did public relations pro bono, so pretty much for free, because like you said, I have a love for the arts and nonprofits. They don't really have a high budget, so I started doing it, and that's how I really got into public relations. I started to volunteer with the West Park Cultural Center. I fell in love with their organization. They needed a PR manager. I said I can do that job. I already was doing it a little bit, was going to school for communications. So I said, let me try my hand at this, and I really fell in love. So working with nonprofits, I just saw how much they give back to the community, which is, near and dear to my heart. So I wanted to make, the public aware of the talent and the businesses and the resources that Philly, the tri-state area has to offer. Everyone feels like they might can't afford it, but let me help out. And so after a few years of doing that, that's when I pretty much just started Kennedy Robinson Public Relations. So it was born not to only help those who normally wouldn't be able to afford public relations services, but to also give back and help the community that it serves. So turning like my hobby into a business was a giant step, and not only giving back, but I have to expand my business. That way I can offer more services to help, creative social entrepreneurs and nonprofits to help them get the exposure that they need to grow.
So let's just back up a little bit, because I too, as you already know, have had, I worked for profit and for nonprofit. And so two different worlds. The best thing about working for a nonprofit, as you know, is we wear many, many hats. So It causes you to have this multitasking personality on lock. Like you have no choice. And that translates over to when you have multiple clients. So if you take that same work ethic, that same mindset, and, translate it over to having your own business, then it helps a smoother transition when working with multiple clients. So one thing about Niesha is that she is, and I always tease her, and I'm pretty sure people have seen this in a little intro. I call her Madam Secretary on purpose, because she is hands down, there's one other person, but hands down, the most organized person I have ever met in my entire life of living. Like, she has administrative as a hobby. Like, who does that? But you need that very much so in our field, because like me, like if your PA is no longer there or in service, you have to rely on yourself and having everything, like every T crossed, every I dotted. And so my question to you for saying that whole entire statement is, what is it outside of being a hobby? What is it that helps you stay so on point, so organized, for those people who are listening who want to start their own business? It doesn't even have to be in public relations, but just in general, what do you do? What tips can you offer to help people stay, in line?
So for me, it's very important for me to stay organized because, as you know, being an entrepreneur and being a mother is a 24/7, 365 job. When you have multiple clients and you have multiple kids, you have all kind of stuff going on all day, all week, all over the weekend. So I have to stay organized to keep my sanity. So I have certain tools that I use to help me stay organized. So just to give a little background on me, I'm one of those people that you call like an early adopter. I'm really like a techie nerd, not like as far as coding, but as far as jumping on new tools and new resources as a beta tester when they first come out or before they're released to the public. That way I almost try everything until I find something that fits with me. I'm going to give it a try. So like just a few things. Google Calendar, Google Calendar is bae, because I have all my different calendars into one, so I can see what I have going on for the day, and I can get reminders from it. So that helps tremendously. That way, when someone says, can you do this and that, I got to check my calendar. If it's not on a calendar, it honestly doesn't get done. So that's one. And another tool that I love to use is Close. It's just like an email app, but it's like a CRM, so it has like all my contacts in it, all my emails. I can see when the last time I talked to someone, set my to-dos. So I've used a lot of like apps and electronics, and I'm late on this because I didn't really understand Slack in the beginning, but Slack is now bae too. So it just helps keep me organized, and if I can keep everybody, my clients, my kids, everybody on one page. Her friends. Kind of using the same thing. My friends, I know. I be bugging y'all. Like, you on Slack? Y'all don't use the Slack yet? What's going on? So it's just a way to keep everything together, because I'm one of those people, I still write stuff down. So I don't know if you saw, like, on Instagram, I went through all my pens and pencils. I love stationery. I love colored pens. I kind of keep everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep it, totally organized, or I would really honestly lose my sanity.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm not organized, I'm much less productive. So my thing is, find a system that works for you. If it's a free tool, if it's writing stuff down, if it's using a Google Calendar, you have to kind of just stay organized. Take an overview, like on Sunday nights, I'll look at what I have going on for the week and kind of mentally prepare. That way I kind of know I don't have any surprises, and I kind of can plan my day out, a week ahead versus just trying to live every single day unplanned. I'm a planner. I have to. If it's not on that calendar, listen, it doesn't get done. I don't know if that's the Capricorn in me, but
I don't know. I think that's the Niesha in you.
I'm not really spontaneous. Like, I don't like last minute changes, or I'll do it. You know how it is in public relations.
Mm-hmm.
Things change, but when I have something planned, I like to kind of stick to that. So if I have it on my calendar, it definitely gets done.
And it does. It changes drastically, and it's like by heartbeat. You can plan some things, but see, the part of doing public relations in a nonprofit space, you plan it. Like, it's more,
Yes.
it's everything is planned. You lived off your Outlook. You already know ahead of time what event is coming up. You already know what funding stuff. You already know who to go to, who not to go to, and it's up to you to find new people. But when you are off on your own, or if you have a client that's like entertainment or sports or food, it just changes from time to time, so quickly. So I tell her all the time, everyone, I so crush on her. She has this one thing, I don't know, maybe it's clothes, that she can plan her emails to be ready and prepped for 6 a.m. on Monday. I'm like, come through email.
Yes, it is. It's closed because it allows me to schedule my emails. So just like when I'm here at night, once the kids are in bed, I don't want to I don't want you to get an email from me at 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
I want to keep it, even though it's really not within business hours, I want to keep it within business hours. So I'll schedule it to go at 6. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the other part of that is that when you open your email, mine is going to more than likely be one of the first emails you see. So that's my way of bringing it to the top of your inbox. But no, I'm not sitting up at 6 o'clock in the morning actually sending the email, but I do want you to see it. So
Mm-hmm.
I make sure that, it just gets sent at that time. That's another part. I just have my list and kind of check it off kind of as I go.
Let me tell you, I thought she was sending stuff out at 6 a.m. I was like, go sit down, Niesha. I'm like,
I know, like everybody's still asleep. No, I am up, but I'm not sending emails. Is like the least of my concerns at 6 a.m. Yes.
So another thing that I wanted to talk about, especially because we're both in the whole, Philadelphia, Delaware, Jersey, Maryland area. One thing that we pride ourselves on, Niesha and I, are 2 out of 8, I guess, 2 out of 7. We collaborate, and we find that conversation comes up, but not too many people really stay the course or mean it. And we're always pushing, like, we've been doing this. Like,
right.
It's so refreshing, and it's so much easier to know that you have not only a bond as a friend, but you also can learn from one another. You can
right.
also vent to one another, because people who don't know what we do truly just don't know what we do.
Yeah, they don't understand.
And so, what's your feedback or your take or your response to, the importance of collaborating and not competing in the field of public relations, branding, marketing, promoting, all of that?
See, what it is you have to, first of all, public relations is just all about networking anyway.
Amen.
So not only do you have to meet people, you also have to share with them. And then the other part of public relations is kind of telling your story. So I'm just big on helping people, period.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can help you, I have information that, you need, I'm happy to give it to you. I think, honestly, there's enough room for all of us, no matter what type of public relations you do. So, like, even with the collective, with all of us, we all do something different. We all bring something different to the table. We all could sit with each other one-on-one and pick each other's brain and learn. And it's just, I think in order to successfully collaborate, you have to really put your ego to the side. You have to be vulnerable. So you have to share your weaknesses, but you also have to share your strengths. So you have to, if you need help, you have to ask. If you need advice, you have to ask. If there's something you can give, or you see something that someone can do better, you just have to, you just have to share that. That's just like with the collective. When I met you and Tanika, has it even been a year? It's maybe been a year ago. At this point, I never knew, y'all outside of public relations. Like, as far as, us becoming sisters, I never knew y'all before that, so it was just the open and honest communication, the realness. Is just a vibe. You can feel somebody's spirit, and you'll know upon meeting them. Like, when I met you, I felt like I knew you, and I told you that. And then when I was in your presence, I'm like, Porsha, you know everybody. So you are really, really good at, like, networking and knowing people, and then bringing people together and introducing people. And then with Tanika, even though we kind of met through client work and, her pitching her client to an event that, I was working on, when she came, we just clicked, and, we talked that night, and we continued to talk, and then, developing the collective. It's very, very important to me to collaborate with others, because I'm one of those people who it's a weakness, but I really don't like to ask for help, and I'm coming out of that. I do have a cousin. Her name is Monet. She is a Penn State graduate. She's my right hand man. Okay, so when I really need help, I need to pull that extra person in. Monet is right by my side. So I never had that, but being in the collective, I've learned so much. I have a sisterhood. I have people who understand what I do. They understand my wins. They understand my woes. Whether I'm having a good day or a bad day, I have 5, 6, 7 sisters who I can go to and say, look, this is what happened, or this is what happened with a client. What should I do? Or my daughter wants me to book major artists for her Sweet 16. Do y'all know somebody who's, like, more D-list? Like, so it's like, it's our group chats can go either way. We're sharing information, but we're also, like, sharing a sisterhood. So I just feel like if you find someone who you can collaborate with, that you trust and is on the same page, they have to be on the same page, even better, then it's a beneficial relationship. I feel like all my girls, I can learn something from all of them. If you can't learn from somebody, you have to find somebody you can learn from, but you can also teach. And that's where, a good collaboration comes in at. You don't want to be the one doing all the teaching, and you don't want someone always teaching you. You kind of want it to be a level playing field, but y'all just bring different things to the table.
And I agree with everything, you say. And I know everyone's like, she keeps talking about who's this collective? It's our group within ourselves. It's a collective noir. And, we have built a sisterhood based off of we have admiration and respect for each other's talents. And right, we've seen each other, we knew each other for each other's clients and our work. That's how we first knew of each other. Like, oh, I know your client, I know, I've seen you working. And then, you start to follow a person and start to have a conversation with the person. But you're right, like, the connection, it was so genuine, so authentic, so, like, not, force fed at all. It was it just happened. And I agree with any type of collaborative efforts. I think the fact that all of us are givers.
Yes.
that makes a huge difference because nobody is on any high horse. We all give our honest opinion. No one is
Right.
like trying no one is trying to buffer anyone. We're not like going to hurt your feelings, but we want you to be your best you, all of us. And then we all get caught up in our own work. You got every different level of a publicist in our little group.
Yes.
And all of us have experience, some more years than others, some more, more better in a different field. Like I need to know, you know what I mean? Or we have connections, that we openly share. But what you said is so vital. No one is given more than the other. You know what I mean?
Right.
No one's given more.
Yeah, and then what I love is the humbleness. Like you said, the ego is checked at the door. Everyone's humble. Everyone's helpful, no matter what it is. But Porsha is being really humble right now because Porsha really brought us all together. So I already knew, Tanika, and that was it. But I don't know what it is about Porsha's togetherness, but she knows, she's one of those people who knows how to put people where they kind of need to be, kind of in a situation. So it wasn't like any old body. She just said, I'm going to pick this, and this girl. From the day I met everybody, it was just love. It was like we were already sisters. It wasn't no drama, no dirty looks. They say black women can't work together. That is so untrue. It was, come to my house. I'm having this event. Come through. If you can help me, you can help me. Come have a good time. And it's really paid off, in more ways than one. Because the collective came really, for me personally, at a time that I needed a sisterhood that I didn't realize. And I'm one of the people, I don't have a lot of friends. I can't say how many I have, but I don't have a lot of friends. So just to know that I have y'all, I'm not judged. I can be, I have that professional yet personal connection. It just means, it means so much to me. But whatever that gift you have of maybe reading people's vibes or whatever, it works for us. Our collective, our group works. Like, we're there for each other, and we haven't really known each other that long.
Well, I really, really thank you. And, and honestly, I would say it's so funny because, I'm the oldest out the bunch. I will say that. I will say
That's
that.
That's right, girl. You don't look it.
But, just one thing for sure is it really did come at a point where Tanika asked me a question. That's really how, it started. I knew I wanted to do it, and I backed down from it some time ago. So, about 2 years ago, I thought about it, and I'm like, But Tanika really just asked me a question about, in certain capacities, working more closely with me or working with me at certain events or whatever. And she, she shared with me, and I just thought that was the most beautiful thing ever, that she felt safe to come to me and ask me for help. And I just feel as though, I'm very open, and I appreciate your comment, because I've been blessed enough to speak to people from Atlanta to, Miami. Like Crystal Coleman is another one. She's such a beautiful spirit. She's a part of us as well. But you'd have thought I've known her for years, and I absolutely have not. You know what I mean? It's just we connected.
Right.
We connected so genuinely, and everybody has a pushback tendency, but so genuinely. And, there's, people in our industry from Atlanta, from Los Angeles, from Chicago, New York. Like, I've been blessed enough to just be very open and let people know who I am. And I'm not about taking anything from anybody. I'm about giving. Right. And the fact that all of us are like that, I just wish, I don't know what that is, but I just wish that so many more people in our field will see the benefit of us coming together, because it's strength in numbers. It's so moving to work together as a team, and not as a competition. And so, but yeah, I mean, each person that I've connected with, I just felt like everybody had something strong. Like Jocelyn, I knew Jocelyn. Jocelyn and I admired each other, you know. I knew, you know, Giovanni and Sanika, and Courtney's my soror, shout out. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just all make sense. And I just pray that other other women in our industry will see the same thing. So, absolutely. So, for you, Miss Thing, you got a couple of things coming up in the summertime that you're going to do.
Yeah, so I have a standing event with the West Park Cultural Center. It's called the West Park Arts Fest. I think we're in our 13th year this year. Wow. So I've been working with them for about 8 or 9 years going on. It's a family. And like you said, what you have to realize in pretty much nonprofit period, you are going to wear many hats.
Yes, you are.
I do a lot. I do a lot of, now it's more or less decision making. We have a much better team, so my focus can just pretty much be PR with a little social media. But yes, we have the event. It's held the second Saturday in June every year. So it's just a free arts and culture fest that's in Fairmount Park. Last year we had our first Funk Fest. So we had Philly's own Breakwater, which was amazing. So this year we're really in the planning stages. We're just trying to get everything off of the ground, but we started planning much earlier. And then we got a few surprises here and there, and then I pick up some projects as we go along. So that's kind of what I have coming up. We just pretty much wrapped up the West Park Arts Fest this past June. We had the Deaf Poetry Jam. I think that was back in April. So when it's a little slower, now that it's starting to get, a little cooler, I just work on my internal business. I still have my clients that I do their work for, but as far as in the events, they'll probably start to pick up probably once the weather gets warmer, besides the stuff my clients do on a regular basis.
Well, I mean, big ups to you, putting your foot down in Philly, but Philly's not your only place. Like, you're all the way up to, like, North Jersey, like Newark, and all the way down to Philly, right? Or is it further up?
Philly, I'm a Philly girl.
You Philly people.
Philly. I do. I'm a Philly girl. I love my city. I know there's a lot of stuff going on, but Philly has a lot of, like, hidden gems. But working with some of my clients allows me to expand. So I work with Rush Philanthropic Arts Foundation of Rush Arts Philly. Danny Simmons is the co-founder of Rush Arts Philly, and he's the co-founder of Rush Philanthropic Arts Foundation. He is the founder of Rush Arts Philly. So originally, the foundation started in New York. So that working with Rush expands there, and then Rush board president is Niesha. She's also the CEO of Newark Symphony Hall. So
come through, Jersey. Come through. Yes.
There we go. Yes. I like Jersey. I go to the beach. I go to the Cherry Hill Mall. But
you done went from north to south, girl. Come on now.
And you got Delaware, on lock, but I work with a client from anywhere. With nonprofits, though, most of the time they are local. We need local resources. We need local media because we need the community to come out to the event. Now, if it's something huge, like when we did the Deaf Poetry Jam reunion, or when I worked with Isha Teller for the Sisters in Business Expo, then it expands a little more. Even though those were local events, you really kind of have people coming from all over to those events. So the key is just to basically network, get the word out, and never put yourself in the box. I'm always going to be a Philly girl. Philly will always be my home and probably my primary focus. but I'm never afraid to take on a new client. I just ask that, there's someone who has the same core values that I do and my business does, which is a big part of that is giving back to the community.
Mm-hmm. And I just love that, and even though I always tease, everyone knows my foot is always in Philly anyway. So, but
Right.
it has so much culture. And when they say brotherly love, like I've never seen anything like it. Like they really are they really are a group of people like that just stick together, unlike other communities. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know anything about nobody's line dancing, to be truthful, till I was over in Philly. I'm just y'all are,
oh girl, that's my thing.
Y'all the line dancing people.
Yes. I do it all, okay? So I have an aunt. She's like a pro. She teaches me some dances. I learn from her. Listen, that's my thing. I probably won't dance all night, but as soon as Cupid shuffle, the wobble come on, I'm on that dance floor until it's over. So yes, I didn't really know that was a Philly thing, but yeah, that's
oh my God, it is sure. That and bopping or whatever, whatever.
Yeah,
that thing
I gotta
is.
learn that.
Yeah. You said gotta learn.
I do. Definitely.
Oh my gosh. So give the listener some information if they want to follow you, because you didn't even talk about it, but I'm going to bring it up. She has a fantastic, fabulous newsletter that goes out. So if they wanted to subscribe to your newsletter, if they want to follow you on social media or look you up through your website, what's the information that you want to share with them?
So first, my website is www.kennedyrobinson.pr.com. Kennedy, like the president, Robinson, PR.com. You can follow me on Instagram at Kennedy Robinson PR, and Twitter is Ken Robinson PR because they only have a certain character limit. But with my newsletter, if you want to sign up, you can do that right on my website, or if you go to the Instagram page, if you happen to already be following me, you can click on the link, and when you click on the link, it'll show you kind of how to sign up, and you can just click on that. And the newsletter is really me just giving you tidbits and tricks about PR. I do consider myself an expert, but there's always room for me to learn, but I always like giving little tips because a win for one of us is kind of a win for all of us. Amen. Matter of fact, it is a win for all of us.
Yep.
So if I can give you a tip to say, no, don't do it this way, do it this way, or this is a tip to help you maybe get the media coverage you need, it'll in the long run, it'll come back to me and just make the industry a little better overall. So I love to give tips, especially for my nonprofit folks who don't have any budget for PR. There are some tips you can use to do it yourself. So that's one of the big things about my newsletter. And then just sharing, some things about my clients and what's going on with them, and some events and some of the collective events. So it's definitely beneficial. I don't spam, but I would love if you even if you take a look at my Instagram at Kennedy Robinson PR, you'll see a bunch of tips and stuff on there. You'll see some of my work that I've done, some of the media coverage I've gotten, and some of the just a bunch of PR tips. Because this has been a really huge year for us, from just the Deaf Poetry reunion was a huge event. It was an exciting event at that, to just bring back the poets and actually be there in person. We also had our very first Funk Fest with the West Park Arts Fest. With the West Park Cultural Center, they have the Dance Logic program. We were able to secure a local TV spot, but then a national TV spot. So the national news is always they, because with the national coverage, the organization raised so much money. Just people seeing them on TV and giving them kudos. The website blew up, the emails blew up, the phone calls, the registration. We have a bunch of new girls who register for the program, and that's kind of what PR is all about, and that's how it pays off. So it's just a little investment for a huge return. And once you get that hit, it just comes back twofold. So it made a huge difference in the organization, and it allowed us to open up the program a little bit more. It allowed us to change the program. We got donations. We have people coming in who are experts and professionals who do coding, who do dance, who want to come in and talk to our girls. And the biggest thing, one of the biggest tips I can give is if you get media coverage, you have to have your assets in order. And I just mean, like, if you're going to hire a publicist or even do PR yourself, make sure your social media, your website, all of that is in order before, because if you get a media hit, the first thing people are going to do is look you up online.
Website.
Yeah, your website, they're going to
pull you up social
and
media.
It has to be right. And so I make sure my clients, like, whenever I'm pitching to them, I'm pitching for them, listen, make sure your website got enough bandwidth for the hits that's about to come in. Make sure your buttons are in the right place so they can donate or find out more about your event. Whatever it is, whenever you get media coverage, people are going to just search for you. So just make sure all of that is in order and it looks nice and it's all cohesive and not all over the place, because you need that to turn into, donations or registrations or things like that. You need it to be beneficial. So if you're getting the media coverage and you're getting the buzz, your business has to be straight from the gate.
You see how on point she is? Those are tips for those who... No, I'm serious, Nye. Those are tips for those who are in the nonprofit world, whether they're working for, March of Dimes, or they're working for Breast Cancer Society, or they're working for the blood bank. There's someone who's there who probably just needs that little bit of information and is just waiting on Kennedy Robinson training for the nonprofit.
Yes.
For a nonprofit, public relations and marketing people that are put in place. So that's my little drop for her, honestly. But, you actually walked into my next question, because my question and final question for you was, what advice do you have for those who are in nonprofit who are trying to, perfect their public relations skills? And you basically kind of already gave it. But do you have any other bit of advice for someone who is perhaps in nonprofit and just like yourself, have their own business as well?
If you are working a nonprofit and your goal is to kind of get the word out about your nonprofit, yes, the previous answer I gave about, social media and your website being on point, that is one of the most important things, is really your website. Not only, it's part of your branding. So when I come on your website, just as a nonprofit, if I'm coming on your website, I'm really coming to get information about what programs you have, or I'm coming to make a donation. So I want to be able to find that quickly. So it's just a few pointers. Everyone is most likely, they're not always going to be able to find your social media depending on how you spell it. But when I come on your website, within 3 seconds, I should be able to find your contact information, whether it's an email address, a phone number. Your donate button, if you're a nonprofit, should be prominent. It should be a different color. It should stick out. It should be in the top, in your header of your website, either all the way to the right or all the way to the left. It has to be above the fold. When any website you pull up, that area before you have to touch that mouse and scroll is the most important area. Everything that's important needs to be above that. People their attention span these days is 1 minute, 2 minutes.
Yes.
Everything is, you got to think of Instagram. Like, when I see something, I hit it. So whatever you need to tell me, you should tell me within the first 10 seconds of being on your website. So have that on point. If you can't do your website, or you can always reach out to me. I can be emailed Niesha@KennedyRobinsonPR.com. You can always reach out to me through social media, and if we need to take it further, I'll always give you my options. But if you need pro bono work, you have websites like Taproot and Catch a Fire that allows professionals to do pro bono work specifically for nonprofits, from public relations to websites. But the most important thing is to have your website right, because that's where a lot of your visitors are going to go, and that's what's going to get the most hit. So that has to be correct when you have events, when you're trying to have program registration, and your social media is important too. Don't don't half-ass your social media, because that is where people are. You can't, you really can't get around it these days. One of my clients is like, I'm not really good on. You got to be on social media. But, and one last thing I want to say, you can't only be on social media. So what you have to do is always have a backup plan and always have an email list.
Yep.
That's another thing I can say for a nonprofit. When you have events, when you're at events collecting emails, no matter what you're doing, get that email, because when you get that email, you can stay in contact with them, with the person, and help spread the word. You might meet somebody through email, like myself, who's like, oh, this is cool, I'm going to share this, and they get shared. So your email list and your website is gold, and you need to have, you need to keep up with your email list. Have a link maybe on your Instagram that leads back to your website, and have a sign up button so people can sign up for your mailing list. That way, if Facebook or Instagram goes down, which it has been going down a lot lately, it's been going for a couple of days, you still have a way to reach out to your audience and share that information. So don't be scared to build your email list. My email list is Bay. I play with it all the time. Everything is Bay, right? Because that is where you're going to make, kind of make your money and keep in contact with people. You got to realize, like, it's so much going on. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, email. You kind of just want to capture the attention and keep your branding and your company's name kind of in the know. So they say it takes 7 times for someone to see something before they buy it. So you want to keep that in mind when you're using social media, on your website, when you're sending email. You just have to stay consistent with everything you do. And if, like I said, if you're a one-person machine with a nonprofit, I know a 16-year-old who runs a nonprofit. It's really just her and her mom, but they have their stuff on point. And that's what you need. You have to have it on point. And if you don't have the time or money to invest, try some websites that may offer pro bono services to get you where you need to be so that you can grow. Because when your nonprofit grows, your community grows.
It sure does.
And that's what's the most important.
Yeah, because you're between doing social media and community outreach. Make sure that your marketing is on point as far as like your giveaways when you're out, because if you're handing out a rack card and it has your information on it,
right,
your social media, website, that's the first thing people are going to, go to. And I even find, like, with the mailing list, if you can sign up right then and there, because some people don't even want to write nothing down. But if I can, get your email right there at the table, that, that's more than half the battle. So, yeah. Niesha, you need to do a training class, for nonprofits.
Girl, that is a great idea. We got to talk.
Yeah, we're going to talk.
That's really true. See, listen. This is what I mean about Porsha, y'all. Just sharing that and seeing something at myself that I might have missed. But you're absolutely right about you're right, girl. You're right. We do. We need to talk about that because they need it. They do, because I know so many great organizations that are lacking funding because no one knows about them. Like, I just went to I'm a member of PABJ. I'm an associate member, which is specifically for, like, PR people. So I went to a meeting, and one of the ladies from LenFest was there. LenFest, like all kind of media stuff. And, it's just having that. I lost my train of thought there, but just with having that money to do what you need to do for your nonprofit. And what she said, that's what it was. What she said is they don't really have an application process. She said that the last time they gave out money, they simply picked 10 people and emailed them 10 people and said, who do you think deserve a grant? Now, all of those people that they named didn't get a grant. But if nobody knows about you, you're not going to be ever included in that conversation. Like, I know a nonprofit, so you have to get the word out to get that funding. Like, it's really is extremely important that the public knows about you when you're a nonprofit, that your senators know about you, your council people know about you.
We can go on and on about that.
Yes, because you don't.
It's because everyone's digging from the same pot of money.
Yep.
So you have to make sure that your political connections are in line. So
see, that's your thing. I'm still,
no, girl. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because y'all, obviously the listeners can hear that we're going to keep talking after this podcast. But what I always do is I get great advice from my special guests, but I also give my great advice. But before I give my advice, I want to encourage those who are listening, who are in the nonprofit sectors, or who are just in the mind of trying to be more organized for their business, or, loved the information that Niesha shared and would like to stay in contact with her. Please send her a direct email, and she'll say her email again, and make sure that you set up consultation time with her. And then you will see in the near future the dates for her training for nonprofit, because I'm going to get on that right away. So Niesha, give everyone your email address again.
So my email address is, I'll give you the easy one. It's hello@KennedyRobinsonPR.com. You can also go to my website, www.kennedyrobinson.com, and click on Contact Us. When you go to my website, you'll see my buttons where they are, easy access. So I follow the same advice that I give y'all. So you can easily contact me. You can schedule a discovery call, which is basically where, you set up time to talk to me to see if we would be a good fit to work together. I don't have I do have set rates, but with nonprofit, I will work within the budget that you have. So based on what your budget is, I can tell you what I could offer you, specifically really for nonprofits. But, just hit me up. I'll schedule some time to talk to you to see if we're a good fit. If you have any questions, I can direct you, maybe to the right place. But, I'm definitely here to help, but I do also run a business. So, it has to be serious inquiries. I have talked to a lot of people, and I know a lot of great nonprofits. So reach out to me and let's see how, Kennedy Robinson can help your business.
So thank you so much for being our special guest. This is a well-needed episode, because I know so many people in this field, or, dance in this circle, who absolutely probably needed to have some of these answers to the questions that were placed out there. But again, as always, I leave with my same advice, because it can never go old. Remember, when you walk in the room and when you walk out of the room, whatever anyone whispers about you is your brand. So make sure you walk in purpose. Stay blessed, everyone. And remember to tune in next Thursday, because you never know who my special guest is going to be that will help take you to the next level. Take care. Bye-bye. What another amazing episode this week. Thank you so much for joining us. And be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms at Purpose PR Agency, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Be sure to tune in next week at 7 o'clock. We look forward to connecting with you.